Good morning, General, staffers, fellow planners. My name is Daniel Cass. I'm here today to walk you through my operational approach to the ongoing crisis in the Straits of Hormuz. As you're well aware, our in-state goal is to reopen the Straits of Hormuz for economic use and, more importantly, establish stability within the region. In order to do that, we've defined the problem statement as the root of the problem as strife between Sunni and Shia members of the Islamic faith and the countries that align with those beliefs. Iran on the Shia side and primarily Saudi Arabia and a few others on the Sunni side, with monarchies interestingly populated by predominant Shia population as well as third country nationals. The biggest issue that I believe we face right now from a U.S. security standpoint is the funding of violent extremist organizations, VEOs, from both sides of the religious debate. You have Iran with Hamas and the Sunni monarchies sponsoring a various number of VEOs in the region as well, which leads to a tit-for-tat campaign or proxy wars as in ongoing in Yemen right now. So I'm going to walk you through my 5 recommended operational approach lines of effort. Let me dim the lights here so we can see. All right, so obviously phase 0 shaping has been ongoing for decades, and deterrence has quite honestly failed. So instead, we're going to move into deterring not the operations themselves from the enemy, the occupation which has already occurred, but escalation thereof. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on how we're actually going to address the actual reopening of the Straits of Hormuz, because quite honestly, we're going to let the Fifth Fleet do what they do best, with some support from the Marine Corps with some Super Cobras to combat the threat of fast boats from the Iranian Navy. As we move through LOE 1, you can see in the domination phase we move. I must point out that the color coding, the stoplight chart, is risk to U.S. forces based. So during LOE 1, there's extreme risk in any level of combat, but we will make it short and sweet, and returning in stabilization to normal Fifth Fleet ops and enabling civil authority. Again, a day-to-day requirement of the Fifth Fleet's mission. So our second LOE, I'm going to bring the lights up just a touch here. The second LOE is increased coin ops, and the key that I'd like to point out here is that this is coin ops against both Shia and Sunni-backed VEOs. We can no longer cater to Saudi Arabia's control of the Middle East and not be seen as the aggressor by Iran. We must be seen as the peacekeeper from both sides. And as you can see, it's also tied, as we work our way through the red in coin ops, it's also tied to LOE 3, which is an increased information campaign. We have to win the info battle. We have to let people in the region know the good that we're doing in our coin ops from both sides, which is also tied to LOE 4, which is increased humanitarian efforts in Yemen. To date, we've done next to nothing. We must step that up, as that is viewed by the Shia population as a lack of caring, and a lack of caring by outsiders is seen as aggression. So as we ramp up the yellow, obviously anytime we have ongoing humanitarian efforts, there is some level of risk, but when you combine these 3 levels or lines of effort, you have the key tie is the winning that information campaign. We have to get boots on the ground from an informational standpoint, i.e. electrons into ears, to both show the good that we're doing in Yemen as well as the balanced coin efforts against both Sunni and Shia-backed VEOs. And then lastly, and most importantly, to achieve the clear goal, the stated in-state goal of stability in the region, quite honestly, it is not a military line of effort. It is winning the diplomatic battle, which again is somewhat tied to info, but on the info range in line of effort 3, we control that. The Department of Defense, CENTCOM, we control the message that we push. On the diplomatic side, we have to allow our diplomats to do their job and amplify all the good that we're doing in the region in order to sustain a free and stable Strait of Hormuz for both economic and social end state. Thank you for your time.